Today we are going to start OSTP review day 1. So right at the top here where it says name, put your name. And over here where it says day, this should be day 1. Make sure you have your name. Make sure you put day 1. Number 1, which of the following is equivalent to the expression below? So we have 4 to the 8th divided by 4 squared. Now, we know when it's all numbers, you can type that in the calculator, it'll give you the answer. But what do you do if it has a variable? If it's x to the 8th and x squared, how would you solve this? Because we can't type variables into the calculator like that. So this is exponent rules. This is the quotient rule. Write what I'm writing. So the quotient rule, if you guys remember, states keep the base and subtract the exponent. Looking at this question, what is the base? It is 4. What are my exponents? 8 and 2. So you have to subtract 8 minus 2. So that means it's 4 to the 6th power. So your answer is what? A, B, C, or D? Good. B. Let's look at number 2. The weight of the ruby-throated hummingbird was 3,100 milligrams. How is this weight written in scientific notation? First things first, let's write down our number. 3,100. All whole numbers have a decimal. The decimal's in the back. When you are dealing with scientific notation, there is one very important thing that we have to remember. Where the decimal is supposed to sit in scientific notation. Behind the first non-zero digit. It came from over here. The first non-zero digit. Very good. So I am going to count how many hops it takes to get the decimal from the back to behind the first non-zero digit. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. So now my decimal is in the right place. And then I'm going to write this in scientific notation. 3.1 times 10 to the 3rd power. A, B, C, or D? Very good. Let's look at number 3. Now, number 3 is another scientific notation question. A space shuttle travels at 2.6 times 10 to the 4th feet per second. An hour is 3.6 times 10 to the 3rd seconds. This expression can be used to find the number of feet the space shuttle travels in an hour. How many feet does the shuttle travel in an hour? When you are multiplying, you're going to multiply the two rational numbers. So that's 2.6 times 3.6 is where you got 9.36. Then you're going to multiply your exponents. 10 to the 4th times 10 to the 3rd. In order to multiply those exponents, you would use the product rule. The product rule is the opposite of the quotient rule. Quotient rule says keep the base, subtract exponents. Product rule is keep base, add exponents. We are going to add 4 plus 3. What is 4 plus 3? 7. So it's 10 to the 7. Number 4. A smoothie makes $3 for every smoothie sold after subtracting. So $3 for every smoothie sold after subtracting. This word subtracting is very important. The cost of ingredients and packaging. They have additional costs of $150 per day. Which linear model expresses how much the shop makes for selling X smoothies in a day? So we're just talking about one day. So every single day, they got to spend $150, and then they're going to make $3 for every smoothie. We are going to write our equation in slope-intercept form. Do you guys remember what that is? Starts with a y. Y equals mx plus b. Good job. M is your slope. B is your y-intercept. The first thing you need to find is your slope. Or not the first thing, but one of the things is identify your slope and identify your y-intercept, which is B. And remember, the y-intercept is your beginning. It's where everything begins. It's your base. So it's what they start with. Every day, they're spending 150. So what kind of 150 am I putting for my y-intercept? Minus. Good. That keyword subtracting is what tells us it's minus 150 every day. Now, the slope. The slope is the rate of change. It's by how much the amount is changing. So the slope says $3 per smoothie, right? So for every smoothie, they're going to make $3. So what is our slope here? Positive 3. That should be red. Now we can just write our formula. Y equals, instead of M, we're going to put 3. And instead of B, we're going to put minus 150. Why did I put a subtraction sign instead of a plus sign? Because it's being spent. The 150 is negative, and the sign in the middle belongs to the term behind it. So what's our answer? A, B, C, or D? All right, let's look at the next one. We are going to do the same thing. Identify the slope. Identify the y-intercept. A taxi company charges a base fee of $2 plus 50 cents per mile. Which of these represents the cost of the taxi ride for the distance of the miles? All right, remember, y-intercept is your base. It's your beginning. It's what you start with. So when I get in that taxi cab, whether I go anywhere or not, how much do I have to pay him? $2. That is my base fee. Whether we drive off or not, I got to pay him $2. The slope is your rate of change. Every time I drive a mile, I got to pay another 50 cents. 50 cents. 1 mile, that's 50 cents. Go another mile, it's another 50 cents. So what is my rate of change? What is my slope? 50 cents. All right, so we're going to write our equation. Y equals, instead of M, what am I going to put? 0.50 x plus 2. Why did I put a plus this time? Because the 2 is positive, and the sign in the middle belongs to the term behind it. A, B, C, or D? Good job. C. Number 6, it says, which statement best describes the values of x and y? So we're just describing what's happening on the x and what's happening on the y's. So first, we're going to look at our x values. And we are trying to figure out what is changing between -7 and -5. You could start with -5 minus -7. We're just going to go backwards to find out, okay, how did I get from -7 to -5? Type that in your calculator. First of all, what do we do with double negatives? Why did I circle that? Double negatives change into what? Very good. Addition and positive, all those answers are correct. So when you type that in the calculator, do it in your head. -5 plus 7 is what? 2. That means from -7 to -5, we are increasing by 2. -7 plus 2 is -5. We know how much it's increasing. Now we can do the next one. Let's do -5 plus 2. Does it give me -3? Type it in. Check it. Check it. -5 plus 2. Does it give me -3? Yes. So that means this is also increasing by 2. Okay, now do -3 plus 2. Does it give me -1? Indeed it does. So it is safe to say that our x values, what does plus mean? Are they increasing or decreasing? Increasing. So it's safe to say that our x values are what? Increasing by, based off of that information alone, look at your answer choices. Based off of that information alone, what can we eliminate off of our answer choices? C can go and D can go, but why? They say it's increasing by what? 4, and that's incorrect. So now we got a 50% chance of guessing the right answer if we needed to. So let's go. Now we're going to look at the Y. Do the same thing. Take -8 minus -12 because I'm trying to figure out how they are changing. All right, what'd you get? 4. So we can say -12 to -8, it's increasing by 4. So now let's check it. -8 plus 4, is it giving me -4? If I type -8 plus 4, do I get -4? Yes, I do. So that's increasing by 4. What if I did -4 plus 4? Does that give me 0? Yeah. So it is safe to assume that Y is increasing by 4, right? So now what's our final answer, A or B? A. Number 7. When planning a trip to the local amusement park, Leah drew a graph to show her possible costs. We're just going to look at this graph. We're going to analyze it a little bit. On the left, we have her cost, how much it's going to cost her. On the bottom, it's how many rides she can take or wants to take. The question is, based on the graph, what is the cost per ride? Now, let's look at this graph. Question. Let's think outside of just looking at the graph. If you go to an amusement park, do you just walk through the doors? No. What do you have to do? Don't you have to pay an interest fee? Can you just show up and walk in? No. So do you notice where her graph starts? Where does her graph start? Because what do you think she had to do when she got there? So this is saying at 0 rides, she has already spent $6 because she had to pay $6 to get in, right? So now it wants to know how much was one ride. So let's look over here. We'll go to 1, and that takes us up to what? 8. Now, did she spend $8 on one ride? Think about it. No, she didn't. She didn't spend $8 on one ride. She spent $6 to get in and $8 total. So we need to take that $8 and subtract her entry fee. So how much did she spend on her rides? $2. A, B, C, or D? B. All right. Now, here's number 8. I want you guys to take a moment and write this down. For number 8, we are going to write in slope-intercept form. We have to identify the slope and the y-intercept. Y equals mx plus b. This is my slope. This is my y-intercept. We have 3 equations where we're going to isolate y. That's all I want you to do here. Isolate y. Get y by itself in 2 steps. Step 1, undo addition or subtraction. Step 2, undo the multiplication or division. Now, in this case, everything's being multiplied, so you're only going to undo it with division. But sometimes you'll have something being divided that you'll need to multiply. So you have to go based off of what's happening. All right, let's look at the first one. 3x minus 2y equals 8. What does step 1 say? Undo what? Addition or subtraction. So here's the thing. The 2y, we're trying to isolate this. We want this one by itself. So we have to get rid of anything that is on the same side. What do we have to do here? Subtract 3x. What you do to one side, you do to the other. Bring down your negative 2y equals, and then you put these two side by side. You put them side by side because they're unlike terms. They're unlike terms. You cannot add them together. All right. Now, what does step 2 say? Undo multiplication with what? Division. So you have to divide by negative 2. On both sides, you have to divide everything by negative 2. You can't leave anything out. It's all about keeping it equal, balanced. Equations are all about balance. So now we have y equals, what's a negative divided by a negative? Positive. So that becomes positive 3/2 x. What is 8 divided by negative 2? So we put minus 4. Y, I'm going to put the slope-intercept form underneath it. Here's my slope. Here's my y-intercept. Okay, let's do the next one. We're repeating our steps. What's on the same side as 3y? What's on the same side, guys? 2x. 2x. So we have to subtract 2x from both sides. Bring down the 3y equals negative 2x plus 12. What's the last step? What's step 2? Undo multiplication with division. So what do I have to do with that 3? Divide by 3. Divide everything by 3. Good job. Y equals, this is already simplified. This is just negative 2/3 x. And then what is 12 divided by 3? Say it again. 4. It is 4. So I'm going to put positive 4 plus 4s. So y equals mx plus b. Here's your m. So this time, x value is on the right side. It's not on the left side with y. But what is on the left side with y? 6. What kind of 6? So how do we undo? What's subtraction? What you do to one side, you do to the other. So now I have 3y equals 2x. Put them side by side. Are these considered like terms? No. They're not alike, so you can't do 2 minus 6. You can't do that. You just put them side by side. Last step, what do? Divide by 3. Good job. Divide everything. So y equals, this is already simplified, 2/3 x. But now you have to divide. What is negative 6 divided by 3? And then you put minus 2. Here's your slope. Here's your y-intercept. And last one. The graph of the equation is y equals negative 3x minus 5. So this graph goes with that equation. Which best represents the graph of the equation y equals negative 3x minus 5 when the slope is changed to positive 1 and the y-intercept remains the same? Okay, let's talk about it. First, let's talk about the old slope or the original slope. What's the original slope? What is the original m? What number? Negative 3. Now let's talk about the new slope. What is the m that it's changed to? What does it say? It changed to 1. Now, did the y-intercept change? It said the y-intercept stayed what? So the y-intercept, b, it's still going to be negative 5. What is the biggest change between negative 3 and 1? What happened? It changed to positive. The negative 3 is negative. What does a negative slope look like? We're going which way? What do a positive slope look like? Uphill. So let's look at our answer choices. You got A, B, C, and D. Let's eliminate based off of what we know. We know it was negative. Now it's positive. What are we eliminating here? Somebody said C. Why are we eliminating C? Because the graph is what? The graph is going downhill, but the new slope goes uphill. So eliminate C. What else can we eliminate? A. For the same reason, right? So eliminate A and C. What do we know about the y-intercept? The y-intercept is what? What number? -5. And the y-intercept is where it crosses which axis? The y-axis. Good job. So let's look at our answer choices. So I'm going to slide down. If I look at this y-axis and I go down, where is this line crossing the y-axis? Is that your answer? Okay, let's look at this one. Where is this line crossing the y-axis? So what's our answer? D. Use the process of elimination to help you get to the answer. All right, so make sure you take your pictures or a video, click in your answers in Teacher Made, check them, submit them, attach the pictures so you get credit.